All right, everyone, welcome to the Industry Leader Workshop series with Infopreneur Agency. I'm your host, Omar Briones, and I'm here with Erfan Hettini. He's going to teach you how to protect your money. He's going to expose some of the biggest secrets of the merchant industry, and what he's been able to do is, well, let me just give you a quick background about Erfan so you understand why we chose him for this particular lesson. So why do we love him so much? Well, he's an infopreneur himself and an entrepreneur since age 7, where he sold his first sandwich for a quarter. And he went on to grow many other companies successfully, and he's been mentored by some of the best in the world, like Jay Abraham and others. He's also a best-selling author for a book that he's written with collaboration with Robert G. Allen and Mark Victor Hansen called Cracking the Millionaire Code. He's also a public speaker, and he's shared the stage with Mark Victor Hansen, Robert G. Allen, and also T. Harv Eker and many others. But I want to just say, it hasn't always been that way since there was a incident that he might share with you that happened in 2008 where he lost everything. And it really got him to search for opportunities, looking for his next big venture. And Jay Abraham, his mentor, was the one who inspired him to enter into the $9 trillion merchant account service industry so that he can revolutionize it and fill a gap with that has been empty for many years. He's discovered a lot of big, huge, dirty little secrets that the banks and the financial industry have been keeping from you for many years, and letting them basically rob small business owners and get away with it. So now he's dedicated his career and his life to exposing these secrets to you, and also helping small business owners and really any kind of entrepreneur protect their money from being held hostage, and make sure that they get the very best service with dealing with merchant accounts and getting transactions, right? So if you are an entrepreneur yourself who accepts PayPal or uses Stripe, or maybe you have your own merchant account already, but you may be concerned. You might have heard these horror stories out there online of people losing everything, getting their money held hostage for several months and kept away from them. And I just saw a story of someone who actually who had to start from scratch and had to actually get a part-time job just to pay their bills because their business funds were held frozen from them, and they didn't do anything wrong. So honestly, if you think this won't happen to you, it happens to the best of us. And those people who it has happened to, they didn't really expect it, and they thought they were doing everything right as well. So again, this is Erfan Hettini. He's going to share with you how to protect your money. He's going to show you how to keep it from being held hostage from you, and also make sure that you get the very best service with your merchant account services. So make sure you take lots of notes, and also use the chat box to post any questions along the way. And at the end, there will be a very special gift that Erfan will provide to you that we have collaborated together on. So get ready. We're about to rock and roll. Go ahead, and Erfan, take it away.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Omar, for having me on this webinar. I'm really grateful and honored to be on it, to be a part of your Infopreneur mission. It's a high caliber of people indeed that met for you, people that are going places on the cutting edge of the new economy. The best way to prosper right now is to get in front of the new emerging economy that I'm pretty sure you could all feel the effect of it. If you're in retail, you certainly feel the effect of it. And if you're online, you could see it unfolding everywhere. And if you pay attention what's going on, there is a revolution in the financial tech industry itself, as far as payment processing, payments options, coins and all that. But the payment, ways of payments, a lot of merchant services online came up, and a lot of other solution. PayPal now is accepted at retail stores. There's a revolution in that end. Well, it has not been always that way. It's been totally opposite way. As Omar mentioned, I did lose everything. Was mainly a real estate investor. 2008, a business consultant, a movie producer, and I had investments and you know, and collaborated. Even there was a big project called Chicken Soup for the Movie Lover's Soul. I was a part of it. I was one of the main agents in it, and my world just came down crashing that time. So what I did, 2008, I went to Canada where my brother lives, and he was starting a new company that I consulted on. I consulted him on it and marketing strategy. I'll take it over, and it had to do with the oil and gas training. And long story short, he needed somebody that will drum up business in the Persian Gulf area because he's married, he's got kids, he doesn't want to travel as much. And I was a single man, and I had nothing to lose. And, just I'm very good at networking and JV. And sure enough, I took on the offer. I went to the state of Kuwait, where I had a sister, actually, that taught at the American University there. I stayed with her rent-free, and I was getting a stipend. And within 6 months, I didn't succeed with this project, but I attracted another project that led me to the movers and shakers in that country. Long story short, it took me 2 years to finish his project, to find the right partner. Around that time, I asked myself, well, I need something for me. I want to go back to the U.S., with something I own. With what direction would I take, for me? Right around that time, Jay Abraham, one of my mentors, the greatest there is, the first guy I've ever met, made money online with through his affiliate program. And he shared an opportunity with me back there. He signed on with this huge banking company in the merchant services account that would give the merchants free consultation with them, basically. Not one-on-one, but free information from him. And he wanted people to help him, like agents, consultants. And so I signed on. What did I have to lose? And I've always believed in him. And I signed on. And next thing I know, I got back into the U.S. and I was starting to move and making just my moves. And any moves I could. I didn't have as much money back then. And I started moving, and then I shared with a few friends and here and there, and all I know, I had a couple of friends. They wanted to start a business with me by actually me creating my own company instead of being an agent of somebody. And that's exactly what I did. It was called Safe Service Merchant Services and group. And what I wanted to do, I looked at the industry, I discerned every part of it. It was a big ripoff. I don't know if you've heard of the scandal. One of the biggest one is Wells Fargo. It's called First Data. That company owns 58% of the market. It's owned by Wells Fargo. And Wells Fargo has been in the news lately also about scamming so many people, millions of dollars. And California fined Wells Fargo $450 million for illegally taking $500 million out of the account of small businesses, charging them illegal fees they're not entitled to. They're just dipping into the account, taking money here and there, And I looked at the industry. I'm like, man, if I enter it, I cannot do what everybody else does. I have to fix it. I have to, make it simple, make it fair. So I came up with the idea. I want to have a merchant service company, a payment processing that is for business owners by business owners. I've been there before, so I know. And I want to set it up that way. So the first thing is I concentrated on no contract, no early termination fee. I wanted a system where it's just a wholesale price or just fixed, very clear pricing, not that complicated. And sure enough, it took me 8 months to negotiate with the attorneys of a couple big banking companies, 8 months of negotiation back and forth between attorneys. And I got them to accept 95% of my terms. So there I have it. After that, I took on and I started drumming up businesses. And then, long story short, the partnership didn't work out. They got greedy. I started down and set up my own again with my own contacts. And I took it I started taking it to another level. But these things, like early termination fees, have always plagued the industry. What a lot of merchant processing companies did, they would send agents door to door. They'll promise you anything in the world. But the bottom line is the decision maker for anything is there's a manager on top. There's an underwriter. That's who makes the decision. I made sure in my agreement with the banks that they cannot raise the prices or change the terms on their own without my approval. And if it comes from Visa and MasterCard's rate, there's nothing I can do about it. Everybody has to go by it. But if it's them, they have to go through me first. And I made sure of that. I made sure there were no games, and made sure everything is clear. And I've always signed up my merchants, my business owners, by telling them, hey, if I don't keep my word, you're free to leave with no penalties. And that's how they got a lot of small business owners before. They locked you into a contract. They gave you a free machine. It's not a free machine. And if you wanted to leave, it would cost you $2,000 on average to leave the contract. And it's a lot of money for a lot of small business owners. And not to mention the other fees they put on, and different fees and here and there, and just tagging on. And it's like, not a predator. It's a predatory business practice. And this industry unfortunately, is very large. It's $9 trillion industry. And half of the world uses plastic money. So you do, as a business owner, have to take it. And I'm going to explain to you concepts, and I'm going to simplify it. I'm going to try to stay away from the lingo of the industry, just say it in layman's terms to you, where you can grasp it, you can understand it, and then you can go on and do what you can to lower your cost for you and to save your money and to be understanding. When you receive that merchant statement, you'll understand what's going on. And if you're being taken advantage of, you could stop it, and you can negotiate. The other big secret that a lot of people don't know, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, they're a nonprofit. They're set up as a nonprofit. They're owned by 16 banks, and they're the ones that set the rates for everybody to follow. All the banks have to follow the rates for when they're accepting payment processing at their place. If they offer that service, they have to pay. Everybody has to pay the same. And they set up everything, and they're there to actually help with this dissolve resolutions, problems, fraud, those kind of things, and to set the rules for everybody to follow. The banks are the acquiring banks. The banks are the ones the gatekeepers. Now, as a company, you cannot deal with Visa and MasterCard straight on. You have to be a bank, and you have to be a sponsor bank. So the bank sponsors another company, a big company, and that company, it's MSRP, it's called, Merchant Service Representative, or, they have different names for them. But that's like a big wholesaler. And then you have the ICO, Independent Sales Organizations, like me. We take all the solutions, all that. We're the ones that in touch with the merchants, with the business owners. We offer all this stuff. And we go about it different ways. My way, I have my own buy rate with the company. I partner up with banking companies where, I know my rate is low, and, it's fixed, and I have a formula. And that's the other big secret about this industry. There's only one system, one pricing system that comes through Visa and MasterCard. It's cost plus, or wholesale prep. The cost is the same for everybody. So how companies make money? The banks charges a fee, a toll fee on every transaction to have access to the network. Like it could be anywhere from 4 to 10 cents, 12 cents. Charges that to the wholesaler on every transaction. But the banking company has to guarantee a certain amount of volume too. And then you have the wholesaler marks up the fees a little bit. Then you have the retailer marks it up stuff. So mostly it's the fees. The system is one, what it's called pass-through, interchange. That means I pass on the cost to you. Then I have a fixed margin above all rates. It's very clear to you, transparent, what I'm charging you. I'm charging you this much fixed standard fee right above the cost that I'm getting, that you can check on straight from Visa and MasterCard. you know, and that's my way. And that's how all the big businesses, Walmart, retail, that's how they get, that's the kind of system they get. They get the preferential rate. A lot of small businesses being duped into thinking the mid-qualified, there's something called pre-tiered, mid-qualified, non-qualified, and, you know, medium qualified. The qualified one rate, basically, is when you have a consumer card that has no rewards on it, that's called a qualified rate, okay? Now, when it's called mid-qualified, that's when it's a consumer card with rewards. And those rewards comes out of the merchants. They don't come out of the consumer, okay? And then you have the non-qualified, which is a corporate card, business card, that has the highest charge, 3% usually. That's how much they get out of your sales, you know, if a corporate card is used at your machine, you know? So a lot of banking companies, what they did, merchant services, they started playing the multi-tier. They created that system where they charge you this for this fee, this for that card, where you're lost. You don't know how much you're getting charged, you know? And Visa and MasterCard is not very helpful either. They have hundreds of rates, depending on what kind of business it is, how much risk, how much that, what kind of card is used. So it's very confusing. But I'm just making it very clear to you. Stick, even with the merchant services, if you're not on the Interchange Plus or the, you know, the pass-through exchange, then you're probably paying a little bit more, you know? That's all I'm going to say. The
Can you say that one more time, Erfan? Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Just to...
Yes, if you're... Sure. If you're not on something called the pass-through interchange pricing system or cost plus or wholesale plus, there's different names for it. That is pass-through exchange plus. That's the wholesale system, pricing system. If you're not on that, then you're probably paying a little bit too much. So make sure you ask, and you can tell from the statement, I can later analyze for you, but you could ask if you're on that system or not. If you're not, you need to be on it. That way your cost will go down. I'm pretty sure about it. Even if it's $50, $100, you'll notice, you know. That's one thing. That's one of the biggest scam there is, you know, out there in this industry. The other scam is there's what we call in the industry junk fees. But on the merchant account application, they are called other fees. They can call them this fee, that fee, you know, different. But the real legitimate fees are things like PCI compliance. That comes from Visa and MasterCard. You have to be compliant as far as your security system where there's no breach, you know, the data PCI. If you're not compliant, you have to pay a fee. That's true. Also, TIN mismatch, your IRS number, and that has to match the business. So there are legitimate fees too on there that come from Visa and MasterCard. But if you read your statement and you're going to see other fees, look under other fees. Okay, that's where a lot of profit centers are built. Okay, now that's the rubdown. That's a quick summary where you should look. Okay.
And now, real quick, Erfan, how do you find out, how do you confirm this? You just call your merchant account service provider and you just ask them? Do you think they'll honestly tell you?
Well, they have to, but also on your statement, if you're on the multi-tiered, it will say qualified rate, non-qualified, mid-qualified, then you know you're on the multi-tiered and not on the interchange pass-through system.
Okay. And the multi-tiered is the one that you want?
There's a lot of play game in it. There's a lot of wiggle room to take you in it. There's a lot of fraud in it.
So it's a bad thing, right? You don't want to be on the multi-tiered thing?
Yeah, some businesses, the multi-tiered works best for them, but very few, you know. But most likely, if you want a transparent, clear system where it's simple, you know what you're paying for, where your money's going, where your money's coming from, what cards are your consumers using and transacting with you, then use the pass-through interchange. That's the one you should ask for, and that's the one would show on your statement would say interchange pass-through, you know,
Got it.
or something to that effect. Also, there's something called the bundled fee. The bundled fee is like a flat rate. They might not say we're going to charge you 2-3%, but they'll say we'll charge you $2 or $3 per transaction, okay? That sums up the transaction fee that's charged by Visa and MasterCard. Usually about 10 cents, 11 cents is my cost alone, then I have to mark it. And then you have, the other thing is the percentage of sales. On the lowest card, it could be as low as 1.55, net out of your, and then the merchant or the processing company has to add what they call basis points. Basis points, basically, 1% is equivalent to 100 basis points. So we could put 10 basis points, 1/10 of 1%, added to your percentage of sales, because we have a cost for Visa and MasterCard. It could be 1.65, so we'll make it 1.75, for example, if it's feasible for us, financially. So that's how it goes. Now, as far as the different rates and all that, I wouldn't worry about it. What I would make sure is that my business set up from the start with clarity with the processing companies, what my business for, how much I can charge per swipe, per card, different things of that nature. And to better present, I don't know if I can, the presentation might be able to explain a little more.
I almost forgot to make you co-host. So, all right, there you go. Now you can share your screen if you want to. Okay. Just click on the bottom, click share, and share your screen.
Sure. Let me see. Right here.
And also, while you're doing this, I do want to just point out, I want to ask this question for anyone who's wondering the same thing. Why would anyone even want to have a merchant account in the first place? Why not just use PayPal or Stripe, which are easy to set up?
Oh, that's coming up in the slides, but I will answer it very quickly.
Okay, great.
I'll answer very quickly. PayPal, Square, Stripe, those are called aggregators. They aggregate your money, bundle it together from millions of merchant account into their own merchant account. If your money is frozen, most likely they'll loan it out, okay? Because cash advance, as a payment processing company, for example, if you're processing with me, you need a small loan. What we do, you have a stream of income coming through your machine. We can advance to you a certain amount, and then we'll stop taking payments from your payment stream. That's called a cash advance, merchant cash advance, with an interest rate it comes with, okay? But it's your own money, but we're bundling it up and giving it to you in advance before we receive it. PayPal, and a lot of others, if they're freezing their income, your money, that's what they're doing, taking the money, giving line of credits and different things with your money, most likely, okay? It's a practice in the industry, and I mean, I don't want to say anything. I'm trying to keep things legal and things like that, but you can research what I've just said. Just Google it on your own stuff, because the rules are very clear by Visa and MasterCard. They can hold up your money up to 180 days, until there is resolution, provided that you have enough documentation and things like that. But a lot of companies have been known to stall the merchant. They're going to get their money, but they will stall you long enough to make money. I mean, look at Wells Fargo, right? Wells Fargo right now. They created accounts. They took their customers' money. They made money with it. Okay, that's what they did. Okay, and they happen to own First Data, which is the largest payment processing company in the world. It's a $30-something billion company. That's Wells Fargo. So, and they were caught before dipping into the merchant accounts, bank accounts, just $500 million. That's just the first time they got caught. Previously, you don't know how much. So, just to protect yourself from now on, make sure you're on the pass-through exchange, okay? And make sure there's, if there's like something called other fees, okay, say, where's that for, okay, and stuff. You got to be you have to know what you're talking about a little bit. You have to do a little research on it, but ask, you know, the legitimate fees are 10 mismatch, PCI compliance. If they're giving you an online hosting, there is a gateway fee. They have to pay that, and so they have to make a little profit on it. If there is an address verification, there's a fee for that. It's 5 cents, and they have to add something on it. Okay, there are legitimate things that they have to charge you for, and but you know there are other not so legitimate fees also. So
Gotcha.
you know, so let me see if I can share the screen with you guys. Did it come up? All right, let's see. It's right here.
So it's not showing yet. Just give it a second. It's almost ready.
Is it showing now?
I'll let you know. It's waiting. Okay, there you go. It's on.
Okay, good. Just like I said before, okay, you have the brands, which is Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. By the way, American Express is independent all by itself. They set their own rules. But Visa, MasterCard, and Discover is the same ownership right now, okay? Just to give you an idea about things, okay? And those guys, just like I said, they dictate, manage chargebacks, and facilitate dispute and resolution, okay? And for the most part. Now, let's see if I can go to slide number 2 over here. Okay, for some reason it's not working yet. It's taking its time. Here, okay, it happens. Yeah. Now, you have the players. You have issuing banks. They issue credit cards to consumers, and then you have acquiring banks. Those are the ones that extend credit to business. You know, those are the ones that are operating in the merchant account services and the payment processing. What I mean by acquiring bank is this. Why is it extend credit to business? Well, very simple. When a consumer uses a card to, at a business, okay, the issuing bank receives transaction information and either approves or reserves funds or denies transaction, okay? At the end of the day, the merchant acquiring bank has to deposit money for its own money, okay? And then they have to settle with the brand Visa and MasterCard after 1 month. So basically, if they're putting money into your bank account, that's their own money they're putting. It's not your money yet because they have not received it and will take about 30 days for them to receive it from merchant, from Visa and MasterCard, the exchange, basically.
But I just want to clarify this for those of you who didn't get this. Honestly, this is all like very foreign language for a lot of people, I assume. So what Erfan is saying is when a merchant account or when a customer swipes their card and pays you, let's say, $100, that money is going to the merchant, and the merchant, it goes to Visa and
the network. Yes, going to the network will take it 30 days for it to come out on the other end. Meanwhile, the acquiring bank that you're processing with, that provided you with merchant services, will be advancing the money to you in a day or two, and they'll charge you a fee for that, of course.
Yeah. So it's
a line of credit, basically.
Yeah, basically, the bank is giving you their money to front to you for 30 days until they get paid from the credit card companies, right?
Right. Right. And so, if you want to understand where the risk is, why sometimes they refuse you or this, they're worried about ending up holding the bag. That's why they come up with reserves, okay? And there's another risk factor. The size of the transaction is another one, okay? What kind of business it is, how much is the refund rate for that kind of business usually in the industry, and how long it takes for the card from the time the customer swipes the card at your machine for them to get the product. How long would it take? Is it immediate That's low risk. That's why they love retail. They get the best rates. Okay. Now it's online and you have to ship it. There is a risk that it might get lost, it might get delayed. The customer might change his mind and ship it back. If you have a 30-day guarantee, 60 days, the risk is highest because there is a risk that the customer is going to change his mind in 30, 60 days and ask for a refund. And there's going to be a chargeback, you know. So these are the things they look at, you know, from, you know, their own perspective. And I'm going to show you how to lower that risk for you, where you actually can increase your ability to obtain a merchant account much, much higher if you play according to some rules. Okay, clarity is powerful, and especially in this industry, there's so much confusion. And I'm going to clarify it to you, you know, and let's see.
Awesome.
Okay, when a business makes a sale pays for it with a credit card. The credit card sends a transaction. I've already explained that to you. So what we make money on, like the banking company partners I have and me, we have markup fees above our cost. That's all there is to it, you know. And we set up your business. You know, you want to buy, you know, you want equipment. You're online, this, that, you know. We'll set you up. We have 24/7 customer service, and we make sure, you know, we cover our costs to have a profit. You know, it's normal to have a profit in a business, you know. So, and just a word of caution for a lot of you guys. Don't think when you're getting charged, like, let's say on an average retail business that has a volume of $30,000 in credit card and debit card every, you know, like going through the machine. That business, on average, what would be considered a good rate, will pay about $600, $700. That's very good, actually. You'll pay about that much, you know. Out of that $600, $700, your payment processor and the agent that set you up and the ICO might get $150, you know, out of it. The rest goes to Visa and MasterCard as fees. So it's not, don't think also, oh my God, they're making $700 a month out of me. No, it's Visa and MasterCard. They have the cost, you know, and then, you know, it takes money for the terminals and the equipment and salaries and different things. So just to give you an idea, you know, but I'm going to give you an average what the costs are usually for what kind of business. I'm going to give you a couple examples so you can be in the ballpark figure of at least knowing, okay, well, I'm in the ballpark. That's average, so I'll be okay with it. You would know also if you're getting ripped off or overcharged or you're getting gouged, you know. So let me go to the next slide here. Okay, I explained already about the ISO and MSP. We set up and maintain your point-of-sale terminals, tailor services to your needs. Keep your business in compliance with bank and card association regulations, because also as a merchant, you're responsible for fraud. If somebody comes up to you and uses, that's a new law, by the way, Frank Dodd law, that was not in favor of the merchants, that came out in 2010. Because a lot of things right now, the fraud, if somebody comes to you and you don't check his ID, you don't check his credit card, and it's a fraudulent business transaction. It used to be where Visa and MasterCard will cover you. No, it's on you. That's why there is reserve and things like that. That's why. So you want to make sure you maintain your fraud and your refund rate very low by making sure that you have a very clear exchange policy in place, refund policy in place for the merchant, but for the business, you know, for the customers. At the same time, you do need to share that information with the banks from the start, the processing payment bank that's taking care of your merchant account. You need to share that information with them from the get-go so they'll know what your refund rate is, what your policy is. They're aware of the risk. Communication is key in this business and stuff. And let's see. Oh, Okay, see where it says tips for finding the best provider. Be aware of underhanded tactics to hide the fees for credit card transactions, like line items names such as security, club, or portals. Those are just profit centers. You know, if you see that on your account. Also, avoid aggregators that do not contract with processors or ICO MSP, meaning PayPal, Stripe, you know, and they serve thousands or millions of accounts under a single merchant account. You know, they might own, PayPal might own 100 or 1,000 merchant account of their own, and they compile maybe, 10,000 accounts all in one, or 100,000. All that money stream going through that one account. They're in control of it. You know, I don't know if you would sleep, how could you sleep at night knowing that? So it's up to you if you want to trust them with it. PayPal, from my own experience, they're good until a certain amount of money in your account. Okay, if you keep it a few thousands of dollars, you probably won't have a problem. But you get to 20 grand, from what I hear from a lot of colleagues and friends and others, then you start having problems like funds frozen for no reason, this, that, and stuff. So, and then you call customer service, and it's around the world in India, and they won't really get what you're trying to say, and here you are, like, you're just burning up your money. You need your money to pay your bills. You have bills to pay, business bills, and there you have it. They're holding your money. It's not a very good feeling. So the aggregators don't take the time to fully understand their sellers. Consequently, they freeze your fund or terminate your accounts on a drop of a pin, okay, on a whim, okay? So if they see a spike in your volume transaction, they deem it suspicious. They deem very small issues also high risk, so they flag it. They also charge you higher flat rate pricing. It's not a good, it's a bundle pricing. It's not the interchange pass-through pricing. So it's not necessarily the best pricing there is. This flat fee pricing, I gotta say this too, it's mostly used with charities. Charities like do love flat rate pricing, where they, just charge me 3-4%. Don't say you're charging me per item 10 cents or here. Just you're taking 4% out of the money I collect. But just remember, charities have money handed to them. It's not donated to them. So it's free money they're getting. So maybe they're more flexible with that. They're okay with it, But you're, as a business owner, you're selling the products. You're not just receiving money to donate for a cause, So keep that in mind. Okay. And then you have, this is the pass-through pricing. With pass-through pricing, the bill, processor bill interchange fees charged to banks, assessment charged by banks. This is a lot of lingo. I don't want to, mess you up. For example, there's a 25 cents basis points of transaction, if you see that, and there's more as far as per item. So that's mostly what we charge. When we have pass-through, we depend on those two things. Those two items are our own profit centers right there. The, about 25 basis points above our cost, and then a per item that we add on to what Visa adds on. Those are our two main profit centers, everybody's. And then we have other fees. We have charge you based on how we set up your business. It's online. You need a gateway that costs money, statement fee, different things, But that gives you an idea, And then, let's see. Pass-through is very less expensive, no true charges like the net qualified, non-qualified. It's 100% transparent, Everything's separated. It's very clear and concise what you're being charged for. Allows for interchange optimization. Also, when your transaction goes through a machine, it has to meet certain criteria where it's going to process through the network. And based on that, it's charged a certain fee, higher or lower. It's too much lingo, but just to give you an idea. And bundling pricing, I already explained that to you. Also, how to your merchant account approved. Okay.
Hold on a sec, Irfan. Before we get on, can you go back to the last slide, please?
Next slide or previous?
Previous slide. I just want to confirm, okay, make sure everyone understands this. So the one that you recommend, is it pass-through or bundled pricing? Okay.
Pass-through.
And what's wrong with the bundled pricing? Can you just...
Well, bundled, I can hide a lot of fees in it. You don't know what you're paying for as far as item by item. You have no idea. You don't know if I'm charging you 1% above your cost on the credit card or 0.5%. You don't know. I mean, I could bundle it all together. If you're a regular business retail, you know, about 2%, 2 point something percent average of your sales. That's about average you'll pay, you know, cost, as far as cost, average cost of your entire sales, you know. If you're an internet business, it's higher because there's higher risk. Remember, with online business, the card is not present. You can't see it. You can't verify it. You're taking somebody else's word for it that they own the card and they're using it. And that's why you need address verification on your site, so that it has to match the billing address. That's one of the techniques you want to use, you know.
Gotcha.
And stuff. And then, you know, online, you know, it's still, if you're going to ship a product, how long it's going to take, all that. So there's a high risk. So there's more markup if you're an online business stuff.
Got it.
All right. Is that clear? Or?
Yes, it's crystal clear.
All right.
To make sure.
All right. No problem. We should go to the next slide then. Okay. This is usually what an underwriter's needs from you to process you, okay, and stuff. All owners, the owners with 25% or more, merchant application, copy of driver's license, copy of voided check, W-9 or SS4 assignment, article of corporation, 3-month bank statement through 3 months recent process statements if you already have a merchant account, okay. Sometimes they ask for a 2-year tax return based on how much volume you have monthly too, and stuff. I want to give you, write these down. These are so crucial to you getting approved, okay? Write this down, okay? First of all, especially if you're a new business, okay, make sure you give somewhat a close estimate in how much you expect your monthly volume to be. Say you're starting out, say I'm expecting $10,000 in credit card and debit card processing. Add to it maybe a couple of grand, you know, say 12,000, 15,000. That's how much I expect. Because they look at your volume. Oh, he's within the range you told us he's going to be at. So the risk is low, you know. They don't flag it. Number 2 is, whenever they approve you, they're going to ask you for your products, and they're going to ask for your product prices. And they can range from, let's say, $10. Let's say the most expensive thing you have is $1,000. So on your merchant account, it's natural for you to ask for $1,000 maximum transaction limit per swipe, for one swipe, because that's the most expensive item you have. Well, make sure you add a little bit more. If your most expensive product is $1,000, put in there $1,200, because there's a big chance they might not give you the ability to swipe at one time $1,000. So what you'd have to do, let's say you ask for that, they only give you maximum transaction per swipe to be $500. So what you do simply is, do not attempt to swipe $1,000 if they're telling you your maximum transaction amount per swipe is $500. Do not do that. You're going to be flagged. It could be shut down too. Swipe $500 twice, and then you have $1,000. Anyway, that's what you do. You swipe it twice at $500 transaction. Make sure if you have a launch or you're getting a new inventory, you offer more products where you know the sales are going to spike, call them up. Say, hey, I'm adding more products. I'm expecting more sales just in case you guys thinks there's a spike, it's legitimate, you know, because they don't like surprises. They think they see your average monthly volume that you told them is going to be 50 grand, let's say, all right. All of a sudden it's 25 grand over the 50, so 75 grand out of the blue. They're going to say, wait a minute, there's like fraudulent activities on this going on. You know, they might think there's a hacker, there's something, okay? So that's why, you know, it's very, very crucial that you communicate with your moves before you do. But think about it. Whatever you sell through credit cards and debit cards, the money has to go through that banking network that you do not control fully. So in order to protect your money, make sure you communicate with the other people that also have control over your money, more control actually, you know, because it has to go through their network for you to get it. So make sure you just tell them. Also, if you have not so good of a credit, I'm going to give you a little secret. This is a little secret. This will lower the risk of your payment processor and thus will reduce it tremendously that most likely they will say yes to you. Tell them you want daily discount, not monthly. What do I mean by that? Most merchants with good credit, they get something we call in the industry monthly discount, where we advance their money to them every couple of days. Okay, full. We don't cut it. We don't get our cut out of it. And then at the end of the month.
Say that again. Thanks.
Okay, sure. Well, there are two kinds of discounts in the industry. What I call by discount is the way we fund your money into your account. Merchants with good credit, they get monthly discounts. That means they get their money in full every 1 to 2 days deposited into their bank account. And then at the end of the month, we go into the bank account and we take our charges, our money once only, without touching their money throughout the month. Okay? That's usually given to merchant business owners with good credit being in business or new business owners who have somewhat decent credit. They can get approved for it, okay, where their money is deposited, funded. It's called next day funding or 2-day funding, you know, in full, you know, advanced to you basically. You know, the other discount, it's called daily discount, and that would lower the risk of the processor, especially if you have bad credit or no credit or like really credit that is shaky. What you can do is like, hey, I'll take the daily discount. What daily discount means, the payment processor will go into your account every day and take our commission, our charges. So our risk is much lower. We're not ending up holding the bag at the end of the month. You know, we're taking our money right away, you know, and especially, you know, reserve and what have you, things like that, you know, and stuff. And there are, of course, payment processors, yeah, they do charge reserves. They hold about, you know, 20% of your money as reserve. If you have a chargeback, especially if your industry is known for it, just make sure you clarify with them from the get-go. Are you guys taking reserves from me? Are you holding, you know, make sure you ask those questions. Yeah, it's your money too. So, but a lot of them, the bigger ones, we don't, you know, and especially, you know, if you're a legitimate business and all that, we don't do that. But that's your best bet, is to ask for the daily discount, where your probability of getting the merchant account approved is much higher, you know, and being communicative, like communicate with your merchant account provider as a business partner. He is your money partner as far as the plastic money, money stream coming into your business. He is your partner in that stream. So communicate with them. Communicate with that company. Make sure you're clear about everything. If you have changes in your business, tell them, you know, changes in your policy, refund policy, shipping policy. Shipping is very important too. How long does it take to get the product to the consumer from the time they swiped or paid for it? The longer it is, the higher the risk for the payment processor. The shorter the risk, the much better it is. That's why Amazon uses 2-day and 1 day and others. That's why that's so popular. Also, it lowers the risk a whole lot, you know, and stuff. So,
okay.
you know, that was my
And
calm application telling me to meditate. But anyway,
awesome.
so that's very, very crucial for you to do, you know. And also you wanna have if you're an online business, especially, you want to have also an iPad or iPhone, the ability to process on your phone, because you're going to meet customers also face to face, especially if you're in the service industry and stuff. And I'm going to the next slide right now. Let's see.
Hey, Erfan, I do want to ask you something.
Yes, go
So
ahead.
on the last slide, you were talking about being upfront and clear communication with your merchant, which I agree is 100% the name of the game here. And you also shared the secret of asking for daily discounts. That's the ultimate way to get
Lower
really,
the
really low, really high application success, right? And also really low risk,
yes,
less fees, right?
yes, yes.
Okay, and one question now, obviously, if you are not clear, if you're not open with your merchant account provider or even PayPal or anyone, and you run a huge red flag that you maybe have like a spike in sales that they weren't expecting, they can freeze your account or shut it down. So I just want to ask, if that's already happened to someone, what do you recommend for them to do to get out of that situation?
The minute that happens, you need to get on the phone and communicate. And if you get regular customer service, ask for the manager instead. Okay. Yeah, get the information. But if you're not getting anywhere, ask for the manager politely, and make sure you provide documentation. You have sales receipt, bills, whatever documentation prove the sale is legitimate. You tell them, you could say, hey, I forgot, I didn't know this. For now I know. And what do I need to do to resolve this? Because I do need my money stream, you know. Visa and MasterCard has set the system. It could take up to 180 days, you know. So you want to be vigilant with them, you know, as far as, give them the documentation. They might stall you, say, we need this, we need that. Give it to them. Prove to them it's legitimate. You know, you've had it, this paperwork, documentation, very, very crucial. Okay. And then what you do is, if they don't respond to you within, give them up to 30 days to fix things. They don't, get with an attorney, payment processing attorney, and get an attorney involved, especially if the amount of money is much larger than you're paying the attorney. Good attorneys usually run about, in that industry, $300 an hour, you know, if it's feasible for you and if it's cost efficient. They're holding 100 grand of your own money. I don't think that will, be too hard for you to do. But I would do that, and especially if you're legitimate, you have all the documentation, you give them everything to prove that it's legit. They have no reason to hold it, and at the same time, I would recommend having more than one merchant account. I would recommend most merchants, especially if you have volume, you have two merchant accounts. One dormant, where you're paying maybe fees amount $25, but you're keeping it because one they could freeze it, but you also have the second one, going on. You can have that, A lot of companies actually do that too, especially in the coaching industry. They have more than one merchant account. They don't necessarily use the other merchant account on the others, but they're set up to where they're ready to jump on them. If the other ones, they just need them anytime they need them. So just make sure you're prepared for that. Now, as far as you
didn't go through that other slide, just so you know.
Oh, the 10, number 10?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah. How to get approved for a merchant account. This is the quickest and approval and activation for a merchant account. Well, avoid leaving any field blanks to eliminate additional follow-up for underwriters. Be prepared to give all the information. So don't leave anything blank. It's a banking application. So they want everything. Give them your tax, Social Security, estimated monthly volume, estimated average ticket amount. That's very crucial. That right there. See, estimated high ticket amount. See what I'm talking about? That's what determines your credit limit per transaction per swipe, and that's so crucial right there. You know, not to go over it. It's kind of like a line of credit on a credit card. You don't go over it because they'll charge you a fee for it. So don't go over it. Complete website URL with full access. Checked out page, unlisted terms, fulfillment and return policies and procedures. Very clear. Especially you own an online business. You need to be very clear with your return policy, fulfillment, and your refund policy. Very clear on things. And because my business partners, banking partners, they do take a look at your website. They do need, if you have a contract for coaching, for example, with your clients, they're going to ask for a copy of that, see what are the terms and conditions. And they're going to assess your risk of giving you a merchant account based on the terms you're providing. You know, remember, it's all about when you get your money and how soon you provide the service. Remember, if you're a coach, you're selling a 6-month program, man, you have a 6 months policy refund. That's a very high risk. There's a risk, and within those 6 months, there's going to be a refund and a chargeback.
And Erfan, I got to ask you this because you brought us something really big here. A lot of our clients are coaches, yes. And they serve for months that it takes several months to deliver the actual complete
yes.
program.
Yes.
Now, some people have actually hired a coach, and the coach has already consulted them for, let's say, 4 hours over a month, and but the program is not complete. But and then sometimes, like, that customer will try to get their money back, and actually they end up getting their money back, even with the service has been provided. So, and even if there's a no refund policy kind of thing, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, what do you suggest for that coach?
This is what I suggest, because I am a consultant business coach, I've been there before and stuff. This is what I suggest. Be very clear. Let's say you have a 3 months program, okay? Let's say you're charging $6,000. You say you spend the first month with me. I'm going to refund $4,000 for you, $2,000, and be very clear, okay? You spend the first week, let's say you want a refund 2 weeks after signing up. Well, $2,000 divided by 4 weeks, that's, $500 a week. So, okay, I'm going to refund you $5,000. I'm going to keep $1,000 because, make sure that you say you will give partial refund based on they received this amount of time or not. Make sure that you say attendance is mandatory. It's their own responsibility for them to show up. Make sure also if you do accept extenuating circumstances or not. You want to be flexible also. If somebody has a debt with their family or something and they can't, mostly it's not going to happen to you, like very small percentage, but just be flexible. Say under what conditions would you make an exception and refund their money? Debt or something extenuating, you'll give a partial or credit. Maybe you use the word credit too. I'll give a credit for this. But if they want a refund, make sure it's partial based on how much time. Mm-hmm. Remember, it's with the merchant accounts. It's the time from the customer pay you to the time they get the service. That's what's crucial to them. The longer the time, the higher the risk. So you shorten it. You make, okay, all right, we're going to just compartmentalize it, 4 weeks. Okay, you spent 1 week with me. I'm going to charge you for just 1 week, refunding the rest. Or make it also the one that makes it easier for you. Don't charge a full $6,000 all at once. They haven't received the service. Say it's month by month. You pay for the first month. It's a 6-month program. It's $1,000 a month. Okay. Let's say I'm charging $1,000 let's say for your cost for payment processing, $1,050 or $1,100, let's say, for example, for the first month. Okay, you pay for that, and then next month, if you want to continue, I'm going to charge you that.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you want to have all this written out on your refund policy?
Yes, okay. And in contract and also online, like where also you make the customer sign for it before they pay online, and on your payment, or make them sign it somewhere, and you have it on your very clear policy. Just have very clear policy about things, terms and conditions like that. That will lower your risk a whole lot more.
Gotcha.
I recommend.
All right, great, thank you, appreciate that.
Sure. Good stuff. So we're gonna go to the next one. So if you want to get paid, you want to get approved for a merchant account, make sure your site is complete when applying. Don't have a half-done site. Make sure it's complete, especially with terms and conditions, products, the logo you have, very clear refund policy, what services you're offering, and how you're offering the services, your delivery schedule for them too. Very clear about it. And if you intend to make, price changes or a change of terms and conditions with the clients, make sure you update your merchant account provider as well. It's so crucial, especially in the coaching industry. It's very dependent on plastic money. So make sure you update your merchant account provider on that one. Now, here we have it. Communication is key, especially if planning on large ticket transactions exceeding your typical monthly volume, or making changes to your product website information. It's always important to notify your merchant processor beforehand to avoid delays, red flags, or surprises. Be proactive also about chargebacks. Be vigilant. If you see a red flag somebody paying, don't ignore it just to get, make sure you scrutinize it yourself. You don't want problems down the road. Don't let other people also pay you with somebody else's credit card. If you're afraid, oh, my grandma gave me this to pay. Well, bring your grandma here. And I'm being very serious here. My spouse, it's my, also a lot of married couples, it's my wife's credit card, she gave it to me. Well, I need to have your wife here, sign for it. Or if she's over the phone, you want to go through a process of verification, because you don't know. You could, be vigilant about things like that, and try to offer, you can offer electronic checks, Visa, MasterCard, different ways for people to pay you. That would be excellent as well. But also have 2 merchant accounts. That would be very helpful to you as well. Now, as far as I'm going to tell you, I noticed, I think it's either Ken or somebody else is from the UK on here with us, and I have something very important to say. We have a banking partner. I have, one of them. I have more than one, but my favorite, the strategic one. Through them, we offer online accounts, merchant accounts, to online businesses in 33 European countries. And what you need to have is to have a product and a website, web presence, where we can go to your website and review it. We can see things very clearly. Here's the advantage for you to be processing with us as a European-based business. In Europe, merchant processors or payment processors charge you about 10 to 20% of your sales. That's what I know. And that's a very high percentage. It takes them also 2 to 3 weeks to set up your merchant account. And that's a very long time too. So through our international partners and us, we have a way of setting you up with a merchant account. If you're based out of the UK, 33 European countries, Australia is one of them, we have a list of them, 33 European countries. If you're based out of the UK, for example, I can set you up right here from the United States with terms that are more favorable to you than you can get in Europe. If you're paying 10, 15%, I can give you terms much lower than that. It's not going to be exactly as business in the USA get. It's going to be a little higher because we're dealing with international too, you know, but it will be much lower than you currently pay in the UK. You'll end up saving money too with us, you know, and that's a lot of power to have, you know, for us to be able to do that right here from the United States, where we do 33 European countries. It tells you about the capacity of my banking partners, you know.
Right on. I just want to point out real quick that the company that Erfan owns is called Safe Payments, and it's partnered with some of the ones who actually work with some of the biggest infopreneurs and speakers that you know. They're used to this industry, you know, processing thousands of dollars for masterminds and you know, seminars, you know, high ticket volume stuff. So they really know how to deal with you. And there's even been a new thing that's come out where you've actually taken on a high risk client, which is a gambling site. What was it?
Yeah, we take collection sites, we take collection services, travel, MLM, smoke shops. We do high risk. I can process high risk businesses. Also, just to let you know, online business as far as coaching, that's high risk. We do process it. We are experts in it. The partners I'm with, they're the same partners that established PowerPay. That was a flagship processing company in the coaching industry before they sold it to a bigger company. And they kept on their biggest clients, a very big name in the coaching industry, very notorious experts, you know, and that's who we have here.
And the only reason we can't really say their name is through because of confidentiality.
They
agreements.
Would like to know about your finances. Anyway. I wouldn't say it so.
Yeah, so I do want to say, you know, first off, you know, we're going to get into questions in a moment. If you have any, go ahead and put in the question in the chat box. And Erfan, you know, thank you so much. What we've done for everyone here is offer an opportunity for you to actually request a consultation with Erfan to talk about your business, your goals, and really just demystify any confusion you have about your merchant account service or any questions you have at all about merchant services. I'm going to put in the link right now in the chat box. It's infopreneuragency.com /Erfan. And if you're watching the replay, just click the button below. You'll go to a form, and it's a real simple form. You just put your name, business name, website, phone number, email. And if you have any questions, you could have a little box for that.
Yes.
And then, you know, what will happen, Erfan will set you up with a consultation and help you, you know, with whatever needs you need for you to reach your business goals and really, you know, save the most money possible with your merchant account. So, I mean, I believe, you know, this webinar, what you've covered here, Erfan, so far has really, you know, blown the roof. You've shared a lot of secrets and a lot of scams and things that, you know, that are out there to watch out for, and, you know, gave some really cool tips, you know, for applying for a merchant account so we get approved and get the best rate. So, you know, thank you again. Thank you so much, Erfan. It's been great. So, again, you know, go to that link.
I'm glad I'm able to help from...
sorry, you got frozen there. I mean, I thought... Never mind. So I just want to say, you know, yeah, remember, you go to that link, infopreneuragency.com /Erfan, and this is really not a sales call. It's really to help you with whatever you need. And if you do want to just hire us or use the Safe Payments as your merchant, or at least one of your merchant accounts, then, you know, we're going to make sure we take care of you really good and, you know, make sure you get the best plan for yourself and your business.
Yeah, right. I want to just reiterate a couple of things. With me, I'm going to be very transparent with you on the rates. So how much my markup fees are. And I offer a couple additional services for free, especially for new customers. Especially, this is a special deal just for the Infopreneur entrepreneur agency. I will analyze your statement if you're already processing for free, number one. But also, there will be no minimum charges of $25 a month. I'm going to waive that for the first couple of months if you don't process for anything. Also, on top of that, what I'm going to do, and this is only because you're a part of the Infopreneur, and because you're part of this, this group, okay, I'll waive the initial setup fee, which is $200 usually. There's no setup fee for you, and you're free to go too. But I started my first merchant company in 2010 with a motto that says, merchant services for business owners by business owners. I got your back. That was my motto. And it's the same exact motto that Omar uses. Coincidentally.
That's great.
Right? So I do have a keen interest really in helping business owners. A lot of business owners will tell you I go to bat for them, and I'm very transparent. If you come with us, we don't do what we promise, you're free to leave with no consequence to you, risk-free stuff. But I do care about my reputation and being a part also of Omar as Infopreneur. So thank you for having me on this webinar. Let me know if you have any questions before we leave.
Yes, awesome. Thank you. So anyone, just go ahead and put your questions in the chat box. Otherwise, we will end the call here. I'll give maybe 1 minute just, to let you gather your thoughts, any questions you have. In the meantime, let me ask you a question about this.
Sure.
This doesn't really have to do with the merchant services itself, but I'm curious.
Sure.
Now, what was it about the merchant account industry that really got you to get into it? Like, why did you really want to, what did Jay Abraham really tell you about it that got you really intrigued about it?
Okay, I'm going to give you a big secret of it. Very big secret. There are two components to it. It's a residual kind of industry. So basically, once I set up your account, I have customer service and everything set up. I don't have to do anything to it. The money will roll in. My commission of it will keep on coming into my bank account for as long as you stay with me. That's why I have an incentive also to do good by you, to be honest with you, and to give you the best deal I could from the start. And if you're going to leave for somebody going to give you $1 less of this, go right ahead, but you're going to regret it. I'm very good with customer service. So, and the other thing is, money streams. This is a big secret of this industry. Let's say I have a $10,000 coming into my bank account as a merchant account provider, right? Every month, for example, every month coming in, I can go to any acquiring bank and sell it at the minimum for $100,000. And they'll advance me $100,000, no interest, nothing. I just sold them this stream, and they'll take on that stream from me. And that's why banks wanted to corner you into a contract before, because they can. You're locked into a contract for 4 years. I have this money stream coming in for 4 years. It's better to much better at expected income for them. Okay, like anticipated income. Because you're locked into a contract, and that's why you got cornered into a contract before. Now, I don't put any contracts. It's month to month with me, and no early termination fee. So I could take that $10,000 coming in every month and sell it at minimum for $100,000. I can sell it also for 15 times, 115. I can sell it max for 20 times, so 200 grand. So if I have $10,000 coming into my bank account right now from merchant account, I can turn around, sell it to an acquiring bank for up to $200,000 and walk away. And this industry made a lot of millionaires, but unfortunately also created a lot of predatories ones, and it attracted a lot of scammers and fly by night, you know, salesmen, sleazy salesmen, and and they rip that customer apart, And also one more tip for all of you: do not go for a free terminal. Okay, do not get a free terminal. Okay, from any payment processor. When you accept a free terminal where you don't pay for the machine, they're gonna lock you. They're making up for it somewhere else. That machine costs $200. You could buy it yourself. Ask them to buy one. They'll probably charge you $250, $300, but you own the machine. You're not obligated. You can keep that machine. Okay. It's the minute you accept free terminal or equipment from them, especially smaller ones that you can afford to buy yourself, they're gonna lock you into a contract. And also, even if they don't lock you into a contract, they're going to say, you return this machine or you terminate the contract before 1 year, okay, they're going to charge you $2,000 or $1,200 to make up some of their money, okay? So do not accept free terminals. Now, let's say you need a POS system that costs 15 grand, 20 grand. Maybe you could think about it. But also a lot of companies that give you that for free and charge you maintenance fee monthly, they make those machines proprietary to them, where if you switch accounts with others, they don't work. It's proprietary. That means you're locked with them for a long, long time. So do not accept free things, as far as terminal, things like that, unless they're very transparent with the writings. So that's another tip. There you go.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Great tip. Another question now I've just been wondering this: is authorized.net a merchant account?
No, they're not. They're a
gateway, right?
They're a gateway. What you need? Okay, you're on an online business. Okay, you're gonna need 3 components exactly. Anywhere you go. Okay, you're gonna need your own bank account at the bank, physical address, bank. Okay, with a routing number, all that. That is connected to a merchant account. Okay, that is connected to a merchant account, which is provided by a payment processor, which goes through a gateway. Okay, and then a website. Okay, pay like a shopping cart, kind of, or pay me. Okay, now there are 2 things. A lot of businesses can bypass having a shopping cart or pay me page and can go through authorized.net, which is a gateway, a tokenization. That's what they do. They take your transaction, they encrypt it with tokenization mechanism, and they communicate with the merchant account that is owned by your payment processor, okay, to bring the money in there, and that gets transferred to your own bank account, the business bank account. So you have, those are the 3 main components, important components. And then sometimes go to 4 ways, which the last piece is your shopping cart or pay me page, we call it. But authorized.net also acts like that sometimes, bypass it. So you have a catalog with a lot of products, okay, and you select, and then you go to a pay me page with a product description. That's a pay me page. That's connected. That's shopping cart that is connected to a gateway, connected to a merchant account, then it's connected to your bank account.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Thanks for clarifying that for me.
Sure.
It's been a mystery for me for a while.
Sure.
So awesome. Well, any other questions? Last call for questions. This is a great opportunity to pick a merchant account service genius as mine, and go ahead and do that. And by the way, one final question I have is if somebody knows a business owner who might be interested in your service, can they also just share this link to them and let them?
Absolutely, yeah.
Please,
by all means, I would appreciate it. Not necessarily get their business, but I would better their lives or understanding a little bit as far, and I wouldn't mind the business. And if you do, I'll give you a free consulting session. I am a business coach too, so I'm very good at marketing strategy, and I'll work something out with you where I can give you resolve one of your problems. So
right on. Appreciate it.
Sure.
So, all right, you guys, we're wrapping it up. Again, the link is infopreneuragency.com/Erfan, E-R-F-A-N. And the link is below this video if you're watching the recording. Go ahead and fill that form out. It's real quick. You get to schedule a call and get all your merchant service questions answered, and make sure you get the right, you're not getting ripped off, and you get the right plan for you. So thank you again, everyone, and thank you, Erfan, so much again for sharing all these secrets with us. It's been awesome, and we'd love to have you on another call one of these days.
Sure.
All right, guys. All right, well, have a great rest of your day, everyone.
All right. Thank you for having me on here, Omar. Thank you very much.
Yes, my pleasure. All right, have a good one. Bye.